Hey, this is Scott from PRSSetups.com, place where you get 2 different builder setup packs for 20 bucks a month. Really awesome deal. So we're at Talladega. We're just going to kind of go over how to race, things like that, strategy. So the first things first is how to get the most out of your drafting. So you notice right here, I am offset to the right a little bit, and the car in front of me is pretty much straight. So we'll look at the chase. Offset to the right, we'll go up, this one straight on. So what does that look like in the car? Where should you be? So we're gonna go in the car, and this is the perfect set right here. You want this bar to be as close to this camera as possible. Covering it up would be perfect. And if I go back to my car, I'm offset to the right, and you notice how much further I am offset to the right. So essentially what you want to be is offset to the left a little bit to make sure that you get some air inside the radiator, don't overheat. And with the AI, they know how to be as close as possible without touching you. It's really hard to do when you are actually out there with other people. But you notice, I mean, there might be 3 feet. I'm within a few inches, cross the start finish line here. So essentially the best thing is you've got a 3-car draft. That third car is the most important guy to make sure that he's right up, centered up to the person, the pushing car, and make sure that every once in a while you give him a little nudge, but don't just lay out on the pushing car because you're going to cause a crash. But the closer you can get, if you can do this the whole way around where you're 2 or 3 feet behind him, then go for that. And then the pushing car, you're going to push down the straightaways as much as you can, and you're going to back off in the corner, and then the third car is going to try to keep you up close enough to the first car so that you're pushing. So third car's job is a corner, second car's job is a straightaway. So you're kind of trading that on and off, and then the least drag you're going to have is right there centered up with that pillar, so you can make sure that you've got right here bar to the camera, make sure you've got that perfect no drag scenario. And if you can do that, you'll be perfect. You'll be going way faster than anybody else. The second thing to do is we're going to take a ride with this. So yeah, so you're right here and you're like, I can't see anything, and this guy might be bobbing and weaving all over the place, and you're like, man, you're trying to follow him, you're trying to make sure that you're not bobbing and weaving, but it's almost impossible to do. The trick that I use is just look ahead. Look at this line and ignore the guy in front of you. Just look at the line. Don't focus on anything but that, and that's going to help you out. That's going to get your hands smoother. You're going to go and you're going to make sure that you're driving really smooth. That has helped me out tremendously. The other thing is pit strategy. So essentially you could take 2 tires here and be completely fine. If you have to take a full load of fuel, you might as well take 4 tires. But if you're taking less than, say, 15 gallons, I would definitely take 2 tires. The other thing is your fuel calculator in iRacing is going to be a little off if you're in the draft the whole time versus leading. So if you're leading, you're wide open the whole time, so your fuel calculator is going to be more on the conservative side, whether you're in the lead for most of the time or some of the time. But if you're in the back of the pack where you're lifting a lot, I would take that fuel calculator and I would crank that guy up to 3 laps over to make sure you got enough fuel, because you're going to hate if you come to the white flag and you're running out of gas because you didn't take enough. So but it's also a fine balance. Like if you're leading the whole time, you can do the 1 lap margin and be fine, be in the draft, and then come home with 2 gallons. So the fuel is a big part. So Another thing that'll influence that is if you are a guy that likes to let off when they come up to a car and they don't want to make a pass versus a person that wants to use the brake to slow the car down. So if you're one that holds it wide open and uses the brake, you're going to use a ton more fuel. So make sure you adjust for that. Me personally, I like to lift. I do not like to drag the brake. Dragging the brake, though, is a little more precise, so you can kind of get your runs just right. But you can also do that with the throttle. You just got to be a little more delicate with it. So that's it for Talladega. The qualifying line is just hold it wide open, bottom, all the way around. Be as smooth as possible. You can turn your force feedback down so you can have an even smoother lap with the steering wheel. That's also kind of a trick that you can use. And then just keep your nose clean, and there's a lot of unavoidable stuff, so don't get mad, don't get upset, but don't wreck your safety rating, iRating at the same time. Just kind of know when to stop. It's almost like a gambling addiction, if you will, especially when you're up front and you get wrecked and you're like, hey, I know I can do better. So but we're all out there to have fun, so everybody have a good time this week, and good luck.